Welcome to the Weekends Over podcast. We're back from our hiatus. Sorry we had to go and spend time with family, so we couldn't give y'all any picks. I can tell y'all one thing. You didn't miss anything from me, because if I would have told y'all mine, you would have lost some money. But anyways, Taylor, say hello.
What's up? Hope everybody enjoyed their holidays.
Max, say hola.
What up?
All right, well, first things first is we're going to go over some of our bowl games, I guess our records, because they're pretty much over. The only ones left are the quarterfinals for the college football playoffs. So, Taylor.
Semis, semis on the championship. Yep.
Yep.
We all concluded so far, I guess, with Bowl Mania. I'm gonna real quick tell you our records without the playoffs, and then do it with the playoffs and overall. So, just real quick, me and Max both went 20 and 16 in non-playoff games this year. And Alex went 21 and 15. So, I couldn't really believe that. I double checked it. We all basically finished with the same record. Uh, the difference is Max is 2 and 6 in playoff games, and Alex is 4 and 4. Alex started 3 and 1 in the first round, went 1 and 3 in the second round, and I'm 5 and 3, which brings my and Alex's overall record tied for first at 25 and 19. Max is 3 games back at 22 and 22, with just 3 games to play.
Let it be said that Max's record could be better, but he did
It,
not send his picks for the previous matchups in the playoffs, so he got an 0
And
4.
it's kind of important because if he just would have went 2 and 2 like he did the first week, he'd only be one game back of us.
Or he could have hit all of them. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Uh, let's just let that be said for Max.
Um. Anyways, I heard there was a bowl game in Florida.
Yeah. So I
Was it the
guess
Rely Quest Bowl? Do we want to let Max rant?
let's go ahead and talk about the bowl game that Alabama played in versus Michigan and ended up losing.
Oh, excuse me.
Max.
I've just been flagged for looking at a ref the wrong way while she was on the
Yeah.
sideline. Sorry.
Max, go ahead and tell the people what happened, your takeaways from it, and if you're excited that Jalen is entering the draft or not.
Really not too much to say. I mean, they had 4 turnovers the first 4 drives of the game, and Michigan started on like the 40, the 20, the 10. You know, and it's pretty impressive on our defense, only held them to 16 points. So, it was Jalen Milroe was the issue. He was making terrible decisions. He couldn't catch a snap. Um, and then he has a few good runs here and there, and then we come back and he has a chance to win it. And he's retarded again. So
Yeah, I mean, first things first, shout out to the defense. Defense played great. We got a bunch of those guys coming back next year, so we're gonna have a great defense, which is exciting. But I mean, starting off 4 turnovers in a row, I mean, it's hard to come back from that. Once our offense did get some life, it was like we would just shoot ourselves in the foot, or we just couldn't really take advantages of some of the opportunities that we had. One thing I did see online, I don't know how true this is or not, but if you do look at it, Jalen Morrow is apparently tipping off the other team about how his footwork is pre-snap if he's running or passing. I don't know if they're really reading into that, but I mean, if you do look at the tape, it did look like he was doing that somewhat, which could explain that. But I mean, at the end of the day, that bowl game, yes, we want to win it. I don't think it changes too much for us next year. I obviously Haynes is going to Michigan next year, which is funny that we end up losing to them to start the year and end the year. And now one of our running backs is going there. But I mean, Jalen, it was up and down with him. Great guy. He seems like a really good person, a very likable person. I hope he does well in the NFL. He is going to be the next Anthony Richardson. Not as good as an arm, but better legs. It'll be interesting to see where he goes. I saw a mock draft that showed him going to the Titans, Max. So just
They have
know
the
if
first
he
pick.
no, he like second rounds, like second,
Oh,
yeah, later. So
I,
Max, if
I
they
th-
get Jalen Milrow, what are you gonna do about that?
yeah, there's not much you can do. I mean, they're already like the worst team in the league. So it's like,
Yeah.
what? I mean, what? You can't get any worse.
I will say, now he did look really bad. The first fumble was just fucking and bad luck. I mean, it was just fucking pouring down rain. Like I've never seen it rain that hard before. I mean, y'all kind of got like fucked in that sense of like Michigan when they got their possession in the rain, like it already like had started to go down a little. Y'all, he wasn't ready. Also, it took y'all it seemed like a whole half to change cleats. Like Ryan Williams was just like slipping all over the place in the first half. And
Ryan
also
Williams is a
Michigan,
bitch too,
and
by the way.
also,
Why is he a bitch?
I do have a
He
question.
just it seems like the end of the year he just didn't show up anymore.
Well,
Dude, 17 years old. He's got to grow up.
I think that has a lot. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, yes.
if you
Milrow,
watch the Michigan
Milrow, yeah,
game, he's
yeah.
open. Him and Bernard are open a whole lot, and they were frustrated.
I was gonna ask y'all this. So, like, this whole thing going into it, they're like, well, Michigan's like their teams, a lot of their teams not playing on their defense, but y'all didn't really attack the part of the defense that we were missing, which was like their safeties. Like you
Yeah.
didn't, there was not
We
like a
tried
lot
to.
of early on in the first half. You didn't. You were throwing screen passes. I didn't understand why y'all weren't. There was no vertical
Well,
pass game.
obviously it's pouring down rain, and also how
Oh
much
no
of
no
the
no no bullshit! It was pouring down rain for like 8 minutes of game time.
the ball is wet, it's still wet, and also the one thing I'll say is I don't know like how much the coaches really thought Jalen could hit those throws. Like it seems like the confidence for Jalen's throws have just gone down as the season's gotten later for some reason.
He can't throw it like curl flat. Like he just can't even read it.
Taylor, did you see the interception he threw?
Yeah, I mean, I watched the game.
Oh,
I watched it with Parker. I thought he was gonna kill himself.
bro, that
I don't blame
interception
him.
was horrible.
To be honest with you, I told Parker this, and I mean, I'm joking on Auburn when I said this. I said, dude, I've seen that first quarter before. It looked like Peyton Thorne was back there playing quarterback for y'all. Like,
Yeah,
no,
it
it looked
looked
like an
like it.
Auburn. Your first quarter looked like an Auburn quarter, just like not going backwards and shit like that.
I mean, season's over. Next year, I'm super excited.
Do you think that if he would have like DeBoer, do you think if Milrow would have said I'm coming back, he would have told him to get lost?
I think he would have let him stay, but it's going to be a position battle. I don't think there's a guaranteed starting spot for him at all.
I mean, y'all are going to
I
end up
think
with your original offensive coordinator, right? Like when he gets fired from the Seahawks or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, that's what it
So
looks like.
he already has
Grub,
been.
Grub or
Yep.
whatever, and then the other dude's just going to
Yeah,
take a
he
demotion,
got fired today.
and then the other dude's going to take a demotion. You're not
I
getting rid of him. Is that how that is?
I don't know. Unless he's butthurt and wants to leave, which I get it. But sorry, bud.
I will say that. I mean, DeBoer's offense that was so good was run by that guy,
Yeah,
Grub,
I know.
not the
Like
other guy, and
they
his
were
whole
together
plan.
since 2007.
And his whole plan, because he actually got introduced as the coordinator originally, right? Like his whole plan, DeBoer's plan kind of got thrown up
He
in
was there.
smoke.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I mean, he just kind of had to pivot to somebody that was already on staff for recruiting.
I'm super excited for next year. Not only our defense is going to be the shit, a bunch of guys coming back, but offensively, I do think we're held back some by Jalen. Obviously, what he can do with his legs is
not some, a
amazing,
lot.
but like
I
the
mean, if you,
passing is what we missed. And with whoever starts for quarterback next year, I think it's gonna be the freshman. I think Russell's gonna come in. I think he's gonna start. But even if he doesn't, I mean,
he's probably the best quarterback in your room.
yeah, even if he
Let's
doesn't, I think
see.
the offense will be opened up way more with the passing. And I think we really do need to focus on running more with our running backs and get some type of run game with
I'll be
Jam
honest with
Miller.
you. Now that we're in like a 12 team and even more extended playoff era, I think you're going to see a lot more teams willing to start freshman quarterbacks like that because you don't have to go 12 and 11 and 1 to make the playoff. You can lose a couple games. And then in the end, it only helps you out for the long run. And I've watched that dude for a long time. I really like him. I was always weird. I saw clips of him before when he was with SMU, like committed to SMU and still was like the 3-star. And I was like, that dude's not a 3-star. But
Last thing before we go into the playoffs, I mean, end of the year grade, Max. What do you give DeBoer?
We give him a B plus.
Nine and
That was
four.
pretty good. Pretty
It-
good.
Take
I
the four,
mean,
but 9-3.
yeah,
I mean,
excuse me.
9. But no, I mean you
We're
went
not.
9-4. But I mean we're just talking about a bowl game.
I would give him a B minus. Obviously, this is the first non-10-win season we had in a minute, but given the games, given some of the setbacks, I mean, we can't
First,
expect to do what
I
we usually
mean, we
do.
did
But
beat Georgia. When at the height of the, whenever they're at their best, probably.
I
And
think he avoided. I think by beating, and I get it, but I just think by beating Georgia, out of Georgia, Auburn, and Tennessee,
yeah,
just to keep the casual fan calm down by beating 2 out of the 3, I think he's fine.
and beating the shit out of LSU.
Yeah, and beating the shit out of
yeah.
LSU.
Yeah,
Of
I
course,
agree. Somewhere in the B range. I think next year is going to be really telling.
was that y'all's first? I saw this. Am I right on this? Your first non-10-win season in 16 years.
Yes.
I mean, that just talks more about Nick Saban, really. It
Yeah,
doesn't.
Nick
It's
Saban. That just shows
that's
Nick
not
Saban's
really.
that guy.
That's not really like a dig at DeBoer. I mean, he
Uh,
went.
yeah, Taylor. I don't think I've asked you this. I mean, Freeze this season. What grade?
See.
See,
I mean, I.
think next
th-
year is the year that's all the marbles are on the basket. Like they're on
He's
the.
not gonna get fired, but yeah, he probably needs to win 8 or 9 games.
I
And if he,
definitely think y'all got more competitive towards the end of the year. I think
Yeah.
y'all's defense definitely started coming together and started playing better.
yeah, I wish our
You know,
schedule was flipped because
yeah.
like the easy part of our schedule was at the end, and I see like I like the quarterback they got, and I like that they've our wide receiver room is pretty fucking insane. I been a long time
Whatever,
since
whatever his name is the truth. Whatever Keon Coleman,
Jack. Uh,
Yeah, he's good.
he's the truth.
Cam Coleman,
Cam
Cam
Coleman.
Coleman,
right?
sorry.
Well, then they got the dude from Georgia Tech, Singleton, and
Yep.
then that kind of replaces KLS, Lambert Smith, the dude they had from Penn State. And then I think they're actually looking at the dude from App State too. I mean, they're one of like the 15 teams that reached out. I mean, it's yeah. We probably need to win 8 or 9 games. We got to play Baylor. We got like a weird. We have a
Baylor's an
weird
interesting game.
start of our schedule next year. Like we play on the road 3 of our first 5 games, and it's at Baylor, at Texas A&M, and at Oklahoma. So like
Yeah,
that's we're playing
you
the
know who
Southwest
Alabama
Conference,
has next year?
Florida State. On the
I know
road,
he's.
right? Or is it at home? Or is
I
it
think
neutral
it's
site?
neutral site.
Is it
I
neutral site?
think it's.
Neutral site makes sense.
And we got
Florida,
Wisconsin at home.
Yeah, we got Wisconsin at home.
Yeah, we got to play Florida State. Oh shit! Well, next year we know what we're doing. First college. What are we gonna do?
Who is their quarterback now? I know
the
they got a
dude,
transfer.
the dude from
DJ
I can't
Ukulele's coming
remember.
back.
I know who. I had his name on my. It's the dude from Boston College, right?
Yes. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the dude from
Is it?
Castellanos or whatever his name is. Yeah, it's the dude from Boston College that beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that's funny. I mean, yeah, no, kind of a wrap on football season from the state, I guess.
Yeah.
Want to talk about the playoffs?
Yeah. I mean, we haven't talked about any since the first round. So.
I have a hot take, by the way.
Okay. What is it? Go ahead.
I think Scatterboo is just as good as Genty. Might be a better runner.
He balled. He
I
looked
was more
great.
impressed with I was more impressed with him than I was Genty. I took Genty under on yards. That was an easy win.
Mm-hmm. I took
But
the under on a rush attempts, which did not hit.
But that game, that was a bad matchup for them, to be
Yeah.
fair. I mean, I'm not gonna say they played terrible. They didn't like tuck they tried to stay in it. It was if they don't throw that pick at the end, it's a 1 point. If they don't get called for that, what was it? They scored and they called him for holding or something like that to make it. They cut it would have been cut it to 3, and then they got moved 15 yards back or 10 yards
Arizona
back.
State.
No, Boise State, real quick.
That one was closer than
Then in the
or-
score.
Yeah. One thing I'll say is Arizona State had they could have won. They might have should have won. That fourth down conversion for the touchdown was crazy.
Sark caught a
should've won.
terrible game. Can I?
How is it? How is it 4th and 15? What was it? Was it longer than that? I don't even know.
No, it
But
was
Something
fourth
like
and
that.
15, and that dude just
and
he just ran a skinny post. It wasn't
and
like
the
it wasn't.
safety just like not playing the end zone.
Yeah, he
They
just.
all, they all ran up and played like I think they may have had a play fake in it, but it's like why would you fall for that on
I,
4th and 15?
I have
Like
no unearthly idea. The other thing I'd say is, why was Texas? What was Sark doing? I mean, they didn't. They could have thrown all over them, but they just refused to throw the ball downfield, and like they were just trying to run the ball. They were like, "We're gonna run the ball. We're gonna run. We're gonna make sure we run the ball," and they couldn't run the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, Arizona State probably should have won. I mean, they had that when they got to the goal line and they just ran the ball up the middle 4 straight plays. Can't do
Mhm.
that against an SEC
They
team.
had a good showing. Good for them though.
Yeah,
They weren't not
they have
supposed to be
not.
yeah,
there. They had a great game. That coach is
that's
really good.
probably big for their program going
Yeah.
forward. They
Yes,
might start being able to compete and keep winning the Big 12.
he's a good coach.
Yeah, he's a really good coach.
I want
Indiana.
to talk Indiana.
Indiana. Indiana Notre Dame.
You mean Georgia Notre Dame? We've
No.
already talked it. We've already done first round.
Did we?
Yeah, we reviewed the first round.
Yeah,
Oh
Yeah.
shit. Okay, fuck.
Sorry
first
guys,
round was
long
a
break.
while ago.
Okay. Yeah, it's been a
Um.
while.
So, well, I will say this real quick on Arizona State. They don't belong in the Indiana SMU category of getting bitched about being in the playoffs.
No,
I think they
and they
proved that.
proved they can.
No, they weren't the 4 seed, let's be for real, but
Yeah.
like they should have been an 11 or
Yeah,
a 12.
yeah.
Boise State should have played Indiana in the first round,
I
and
yeah, I
I
saw
think
the
they would have
yeah.
beat them.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And I think Arizona State would beat SMU or
Mhm.
Clemson.
Yeah.
So,
Clemson would have been closer, but
um
SMU definitely.
so do you want to talk about fucking Oregon just getting a fucking
Doors blown off.
I mean, I took Ohio State in our thing, but I didn't think it would be that much of a blowout. I mean, I know it's hard to beat somebody twice.
How much does that
Ye-
speak about Oregon playing bad, not being prepared, or is Ohio State just are they just clicking on all
well,
cylinders?
Max is kind of our uh, football talk guy. I'm gonna ask him this: Is Michigan the only team that has figured out you can't just sit back and let Ohio State throw the ball?
I think so, and
Like
they put it the same way against Jalen Milrow. They just say, you know
yeah,
what, we're fucking coming.
that's what that's what I'm saying.
And
Like I
and
don't understand what Oregon. You can't just sit
that
back there and
you
let
know
Jeremiah Smith get run around.
They were.
I don't know.
It was over. Like after first
First
quarter,
quarter.
First quarter, bro.
it was over.
I turned it on second quarter. It was like 24-0 already, and I was like, whoa. All right, well, turn it back off. Like, all right, well, it's over.
Yeah,
That was
Ohio
really
State.
surprising to me. I really thought Oregon.
I really thought it'd be a close game, but
Yeah,
Man, Oregon really got screwed. Did you see what their path in the end would have been if they would have won that game? So their reward for being the 1 seed was play Ohio State, or and then if they would have won that game, go play the Cotton Bowl against Texas. Like go play a road game against Texas. That's where,
that'll.
yeah, like go play a road game against Texas.
They've already talked about it. They're gonna
Yeah,
fix the seating, and not next year, but the one after, which will be good. But yeah, they did get screwed. But Ohio State is. All cylinders. We'll go into our picks later, but I think Ohio State is
the
by
favorite.
far the favorite now, and they
I
look
think it would be
great on
I
both
think
sides of
they
the
it
ball.
would be a massive disappointment if they didn't win.
Ryan Day, Ryan Day, does
Yeah,
he still got to win it?
probably not.
Yeah, probably
But
not anymore, huh?
no, I think beating the shit out of Oregon looked good.
In Tennessee,
Notre Dame,
what
Georgia.
Notre Dame's
Notre Dame,
defense is.
Georgia lost that game on a 17-second sequence. Did they not?
For half.
Did
Yep.
Yeah,
Right
go?
before and right after half.
yeah.
Yeah, why with a? I think the worst thing that happened to Georgia was in the late second half. Gunnar Stockton started slinging the ball around, and he actually looked really good. I will say this: he probably will be good. I think so. They went away from their conservative play call, and so they get down 6-3. They're on their own like 20-yard line. Just go to half. Like go to half. And he fumbles the ball. They score a touchdown, run the kickoff back, and then it's interesting because like those three teams. Now Georgia's out, but Georgia, Notre Dame, and Penn State, all I think are teams that can't get behind far. Like they're those
Yes, I
teams.
agree.
Those are teams where like a bad stretch can actually lose them the game. Texas and Ohio State can rebound because they have the offense to do it, but Georgia's not going to come back from a 17-point deficit against a good defense. What did you think about Notre Dame's defense?
I mean, they look great. Their defense is all over the ball. Even in the Indiana game, they've just been on top of everything. They, I mean, just the way that they can bottle up the run and really make you beat them with passing is really good. And that is one thing I will worry about against Penn State with them. Um, but Notre Dame looks good. They look very good.
Picks.
Picks. Picks. Did we talk about Penn State already? Am I just
Yeah,
stupid?
we talked about Ginty. They shut down Ginty.
Yeah.
I mean, that was no like game plan is going to work against a team like that. We're just going to run
No.
our best guy 30 times. They're going to okay. I mean, he ain't going to move the ball. They're going to make your quarterback beat you. That's that big boy football. You don't let the best player beat you. You make somebody else. And if they do, they do. But
Yep.
it was never
All
going
right.
to work.
We'll start off with the Texas and Ohio State. Texas 5.5 point underdogs. Uh, man, I hate that line. That line is so
I wish
ugly.
it was
Me and Taylor
bigger.
were talking about if it was 7.5 or even
3.
6.5. You know.
Or if you went lower, then I'd feel good about taking Ohio State.
Yeah.
Vegas knows what they're doing.
Man, I'm gonna take Ohio State to cover. I think they look good. Texas kind of looks questionable. Quinn's kind of letting some passes sail. I know their offense, if they do click, they will be able to keep up with Ohio State, but it's more of like an if. Whereas I'm not really worried about with Ohio State. Texas defense looked questionable already against Arizona State, and Ohio State's much more talented than them. So give me Ohio State the cover. Ohio State's covers the 5.5. Key to the game is going to be pass rush of Texas if they can get to Will Howard, and if they can put some pressure on him, like we've said, they're going to have to get some pressure on him, and also on Quinn Ewers if he can hit his throws. He can't have any turnovers.
Yeah, they cannot Texas can't Oregon this. They actually need to send pressure.
Yep.
I mean, gosh, you just can't sit back there and let those guys get open because they will.
Go ahead, Taylor.
Yeah, give me Ohio State -5.5. Okay, I'm picking them to win the Natty now, so might as well
Yep.
ride with it.
Next.
Give me Texas.
Ooh.
I just know it's going to be a close game. And when Will Howard plays a close game, he's ass cheeks McGee. So
Mm-hmm. Did you see where they didn't let him on the? Did you see where they didn't let him on the podium?
Yeah.
That was kind of funny. Then the funniest thing was the dude going, "There's a weight limit," and I'm like, "What do you not magically know that him getting on there will put you over the weight limit?" Like they were, they were like, "I don't know, the star quarterback can't get on there, but they have third string offensive lineman on there."
All right. Notre Dame versus Penn State. This is the game I'm most intrigued about. Two teams that are very similar in pretty much all facets. They're going against each other. Uh, man, I'm kind of back and forth on this one. Notre Dame's looked really good, but I'm going to take. By the way, Notre Dame's favored by 2.5. I'm going to take Penn State to cover the 2.5. I do like them to win it actually, but I'm not going to take the money line. I'm going to just take the cover. I think Penn State's a little bit better on offense. Uh, Drew Aller, and then also tight end, whatever his name is. I don't know why I can't think of it right now. He is that guy. Also, Katron Allen, Singleton. They are both really good running backs, and I think they're a little bit more dynamic on offense. I think if it does come down to the defense is pretty similar. I just think Penn State's offense is a little bit better, so I'm going to take Penn State. Max.
Give me Notre Dame. I don't know. I just think their defense has been showing that they're more dominant, especially getting after Georgia's quarterback. I mean, I know Georgia's line hasn't looked great at points sometimes this year, but I don't know if you can physically dominate Georgia. I know they're down a quarterback, but especially win at the line of scrimmage, I'm just gonna pick you against a team who hasn't done that. So
Man, I've gone back and forth about 8 times since, me and Alex talked before, and I told him that I was taking Notre Dame minus 2.5.
You better.
I'm not.
You're gonna copy me. This guy's
No,
so
I'm not
fake.
gonna say coughing you.
You're copying me.
The more
Before
I think
this,
about, the more I think about it, this is the most confident offense they're gonna play in the playoffs, and like I think they're gonna actually have to move the ball in offense and score points offensively. I don't think they're gonna be get lucky and get gifted 17 points like they did in the last game. So you give me Penn State plus 2.5. I know. But there's only two
lame.
games.
Well,
Yeah, I
we're not.
promise you, in the Natty, I'll go against you.
Well, no, you're not, because I'm gonna pick Ohio State.
You know what? Fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it. We can't end in a tie. Notre Dame minus 2.5.
That was your original. I like that.
Can I do no? Will you give me Notre Dame money line?
You know what? I'll take Penn State money line, and you can take Notre Dame money line.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool.
Because
Bet.
I actually do think Penn State's gonna win.
Okay.
All right.
Notre Dame money line, Penn State money line. That probably is going to determine it.
Yeah,
Because
I'm
I
just
think we're
saying.
both going to take Ohio State if they're in the Natty, unless we
Unless,
lose
yeah,
Texas, but we both picked Ohio
or
State.
take like a cover for the other team.
Yeah.
All right. Now we're gonna get into some SEC basketball discussion. I don't think we've had any new update to our basketball picks, have we, Taylor?
No, we haven't done anything.
No. Okay. We're just gonna go ahead and go on pretty much the picks for this week, unless y'all
I'll be
have
right
any
back.
discussions that y'all want to talk about.
What did you think of the league?
The league. What do you mean the league?
Like the first Saturday of conference play. What did you watch any of
Uh,
it?
Alabama looked very impressive to me. I was really excited with how they looked. This was like the most complete game they put together against Oklahoma. Uh, Youngblood looks great. Sears looks good. Nelson looks good. Uh, Big center for us looks good. Filan's looking great. I'm just very impressed by them. Also, Tennessee's really good. They're very, 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 very good. Um, SEC is deep, man. I don't think there's a better conference. It's so funny. No matter what, it's like always SEC, either sport, it's always going to think they're the best conference, but I really do. I don't think there's a question. SEC is the best conference this year in basketball by far.
Yeah, I mean, you saw that it was 7-1. The home team went 7-1. You'll see a lot of that. I mean, I think Vandy beat
Are
LSU
12
at it.
teams gonna make it?
Probably not, just because, like, I mean,
10
the
will.
way 12 teams would make it is if one of the Auburn, Alabama, Kentucky, or Tennessee's finished towards the bottom and went 7-11, and then one of the other teams that freaked me out, like I don't know, like a Georgia or an Ole Miss went and finished top four in the league or something like that. Then yes, but I think like a Missouri, Oklahoma, they're gonna get left out. I think for other
Max, how
teams.
did you
The bubble needs to be perfect for it to happen.
Max,
Yeah.
how did you feel about Alabama versus Oklahoma?
Um, Alabama really didn't shoot the three well. They really just dominated on the inside, on rebounding on the O boards. You know, they just, I don't know, just out physicaled them.
We haven't really put together a game where we shot great from three yet.
I
No,
thought
but
that
that's the thing.
I thought that, but that was as a game. That was probably y'all's most complete game. I
Yeah.
think y'all'd be undefeated
Oh yeah,
if y'all played like that. Y'all would be undefeated right now
Hmm.
in every game.
And I think the key to it
Uh,
was getting a Maury involved on offense. I mean, he was yamming that thing on people. And the one thing I like to see was Grant Nelson and him running a pick and roll down low, and Grant giving him some lobs. That's dangerous right there. Two big
mhm.
guys that are athletic. That's really good to see. How about you with Auburn? How did you feel? I know
I
y'all's game
mean,
was a little bit sloppy, but y'all
we
are a great
just
team, obviously.
we just went out of our way to make Tahad play point guard because we've been playing at two all year, but we're gonna need him to play one and he is a natural point guard, but we've started him off at the two. Believe it or not, it's kind of like I think Bruce's solution to Aiden because he brought Aiden in last year and basically made him play quarterback as a freshman, and it's a lot of responsibility in Auburn's offense to be a point guard. I mean, it just is. So I think he didn't want Todd thinking about that. I think he wanted him to score. But with JP Big East just being awful, and that was supposed to be our second point guard, and now he plays at the end of games with the walk-ons. We got to have Todd be the backup point guard to Denver. He's gonna be our starter one day, but like so they left him in the second half and he kept turning the ball over. We finished with 16 turnovers. Funny enough, we shot our best percentage from three the whole year. We shot 48%. It was 50 until we took a three at the very end. But we only shot 21 threes. So it's super efficient. Yeah, the guys looked okay. They looked like they were playing and they didn't think they were gonna lose. Which we gotta be careful with that because this is not the league to do that, just go into some of these games sleepwalking. I mean, you'll probably get away with it at Auburn. Against not against like a really good team, but like a Missouri, Oklahoma. Just being honest, you can probably get away with it, but no, but on the road you can't. So very interested to see how they play against Texas, because it's kind of weird. I think Texas is good, but the line's kind of big, so it's like I just hope they go in there focused.
Mhm.
I like
Well,
you know Broom 24/7, and it didn't even look like he really tried. So. I'm excited for I'm kind of bummed that the first meeting between us is not till February.
that Iron Ball is gonna be great. It's gonna
The
be a lot
both
of
of
fun.
them,
It's gonna be a
I
top
think.
five. It's gonna be a top five matchup.
Ah, dude, yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be electric. Let's go ahead and get into these picks for this week then. We'll start
Midweek
it off
picks
midweeks.
because
Yeah,
just a note on the pod, we have to figure out how we're gonna do this because we can't just like pick two games. Like with basketball we got midweek games and weekend games. So our NFL pod, we might
we can throw some basketball picks on there. That'll be
for
fine.
our NFL pod
Yeah, because
while
I
this
mean we're still in the
playoff runs
playoffs now.
happening, while the playoff runs happening, since it'll fill some time.
Yeah.
But yeah, go for
Let's start it off.
midweek.
We'll start with Kentucky at Georgia. So who did Georgia just lose to?
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss.
Real quick. These Tuesday games are all bet online odds, and then the three Wednesday games. Not that it matters because we're all picking the same line. Are from the T rank, the Torvik rank that I've been using for lines. It's pretty accurate. So just a heads up. But
ESPN just dropped the lines for these, by the way.
okay, well you can adjust them if you want to. I don't
I mean
care.
they're very similar.
They're very similar.
The difference between this one, so the line right now is Kentucky -3. It's -2.5.
Oh, no. These the Tuesday ones they're just getting updated. I'm talking about Wednesday games. We have three Wednesday
Okay,
games.
okay, gotcha.
The Tuesday ones are what I picked up on ESPN or
Okay,
Bet
cool.
Online, not ESPN, Bet Online. But we'll just use Bet Online. I mean, we're all using the same pick and we're not doing it legit. So
So yeah, Kentucky at Georgia. I'm gonna go with Kentucky on this one. Georgia lost to Ole Miss, but Kentucky does have the better team. Um, I think the one thing about the Kentucky is they get hot and they have a bunch of players that can shoot. I kind of question about Georgia is are they going to be able to keep up at home for Georgia though? I still don't think it's gonna matter. I think Kentucky's just a better team. So Max,
What did you say?
I had Kentucky. Kentucky covers.
Who the fuck they playing?
Georgia
Georgia.
Oh yeah,
at Georgia.
I knew that. Shut up! Don't tell me.
There is a Google Doc that we have that is shared between us. If you ever want to look at it,
I haven't looked at it this week,
I know
unfortunately.
you probably haven't.
Yeah, I know he did.
But let me get Kentucky because yeah, they can get hot from three. I think I don't know. We need to do a power ranking. I think we should do a mid-season power ranking. Just wait a few weeks, do a mid-season power ranking.
We're
And then,
about mid-season right now. That'd be fun.
He's
I'd be
talking
down
about
to do
I mean,
that.
I'm talking
mid-conference
about
play.
SEC. Yeah,
Mid-conference
SEC.
play at the 9 game mark. Just do
That'd
it.
be
At the
fun,
9.
actually.
SEC power rankings. Yeah.
I also have Kentucky to cover. Hey, watch out for Georgia. They're fun. They're actually kind of fun to watch. They got a dude named Asa Newell. He'll be a lottery pick. He's young, but he can score. I don't know if you watch the game, you'll see what I'm talking about. Kind of that typical new NBA scoring guard. So they
Gotcha.
do have the boys this year. I think they can. I think they are the bubble in the SEC, like the line.
Georgia.
Like, yes, if Georgia gets in, then we have an extra. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
they're as line as it can get. Like, Ole Miss is just a little bit above it, but Georgia is probably the last team right now, in or out, if that makes sense. or
Talking
first
about
team out, last team in, first team out. I think it's
talking
short.
about bubble, I think one of the other teams with them is Missouri, and that's the next game. Missouri at LSU.
I think they're out
LSU
right now.
LSU is 11-3. Missouri is also 11-3, but I think Missouri is a little bit more impressive. Obviously, they have the better win this year. They beat Kansas. Um, I'm gonna take the road team again. I think Missouri is 7.5. I'm going to take LSU to cover, but I think Missouri wins. I think the key to this game is that Missouri has better big man, and specifically his name is
Mitchell.
Corey Chest. So he has 8 rebounds a game. LSU's leading rebounder for them has 4 rebounds a game, so I think that's going to be tough for them to be able to hold on, especially if he's grabbing all the boards. So give me give me LSU to cover, but Missouri
Okay.
wins. Max.
It's 7.5.
Give me Missouri cover.
Okay.
I think LSU's fraudulent with all the guys they have out.
Mm,
I think LSU and South Carolina are going to finish at the bottom. They're 15 and 16, I think. They but LSU is the one team to lose at home this week. So yeah, I don't really think home court matters for them. Give me Missouri. I kind of like the fire Missouri plays, but I like it's a little rough, but it works. Give me Missouri minus 7.5.
Next up, Mississippi State at Vandy. So this is a
Watch the
fun
fuck
game.
out. Watch the fuck out. Have you watched them this year?
Vandy or
Mississippi State.
They shoot the ball. They shoot the ball.
They
They're
are
very high
win the
scoring.
conference good.
Yeah,
I'm not shitting you. They're win the conference good.
they're ranked number 14. Both of these teams are 13-1 right now. The line is Mississippi State +1 at Vandy. Give me Vandy. I'm taking Vandy at home. A lot of people are going to bring up Hubbard for Mississippi State. He's very, very good, but also Jason Edwards is really good for Vandy. Very, very good free throw shooter, and I think the key to this game is actually weird to say home court advantage at Vandy basketball.
There's
Alabama knows the nightmares of going to play at Vandy, and it's
Have
going to
you
happen to
ever been
Mississippi
to a
State.
game there? Have you ever been to a game there? It's fucking awful.
It's
You feel like
silent.
you're going into like a opera like a theater. Like
It's
it's just weird.
it's silent, and you know what? It gets into their heads.
hmm
So there you go, Vandy covers.
That's my lock. So Mississippi State's covering the 1.5.
We'll go ahead and talk about it then, Scrub.
Yeah, I really like Mississippi State. I think they are. And by the way, I'm not disrespecting Vandy. I think they're a tournament team or playing to be a tournament team right now. Have you seen their net ranking? Vandy's
No, but
28th in the net right now.
I know they're good.
Yeah, so not downing them, but I think Mississippi State is not getting talked about with Auburn, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, Florida, like that group of five. I think it needs to be a group of six. I think they're in it. I don't know where they play. I know they just play Auburn once, and it's in Auburn. That kind of sucks for them. I don't know. I think they play Bama twice. Y'all play Bama them twice because we play Ole Miss twice. I think that's how it's always been. So I really think, yeah. I think when y'all go play there, that'd be fun. They're like they normally are, except for they can shoot this year. Like they still have the inside presence, and they still have Cam Matthews, guys like that are very physical, but now they can shoot the ball. Um, were they like almost dead last in the country 3-point shooting last year, and now they're top 150, I think. So
Mhm.
that's really effing good. Yeah, I like Mississippi State.
Max, what you think?
Mississippi State as well. I think I agree with Taylor. I think they deserve to be up there in the talks at the top of the SEC teams that could potentially win the conference.
I see it as so. I agree that Mississippi State is like kind of not getting the love, but I also think the same for Vandy. I think even more for Vandy that they're not getting the love that they deserve. But that's gonna be a really good game. Actually, that's gonna be a fun one to watch. Um,
Probably the game of the week, midweek.
besides this next one,
Oh no, Florida, Tennessee. I'm an idiot. I'm an
besides
idiot.
this next one,
I don't get this line.
Tennessee goes to Florida. Obviously, undefeated Tennessee goes to 13-1. Florida, Tennessee is +3 at Florida. I'm taking Tennessee +3 all day. Florida is very good, but I think Tennessee, watching them play the other day, man, it's crazy. Key to the game for me is going to be watching turnovers for Tennessee. If you start letting the crowd get into it at Florida, then it'll be tough. But I think Ziegler for Tennessee is great. 8 assists a game. He is a baller. He's really annoying too. I don't like him when he plays against Alabama, but he's gonna be great. I think that's gonna be the key game with Ziegler if he can get the offense going and running right. Can't start slow. Can't start slow. That's always the thing you don't want to do, especially on the road. Max, what you think?
I'm gonna take Florida just because.
Okay, I mean it's at home team. That's the one thing that's going on
Yeah.
this year. Like the home team is actually doing better. So
Florida, Kentucky was like an NBA basketball game. Did you watch it? It looked like an NBA basketball game.
yep.
I think the final score was 108, 104 or something like that. It looked really like it was like I'm sorry, like it just really smooth. Somebody that's gonna watch that and say it's bad defense, but it really wasn't. It was just really good offense. Like sets were clean, cool, like screens were set perfect, shots were clean, getting clean shots off. Um, I like Tennessee to cover the 3. I think they're gonna lose though. I want them to lose. I don't like Tennessee. They're really good though,
Yeah, they're
and
very good.
Auburn only has to play them once this year, and it's in Auburn.
That's great.
And I was
Very
looking
well.
at ticket prices, and they're $1,700 to $2,000 a ticket.
Cheap.
Yeah, the
All
year
right.
I lose season tickets in basketball.
Next up, Ole Miss at Arkansas.
This is a
Ole
good one.
Miss, yeah, Ole Miss 20 ranked number 23. They're +2.5 at Arkansas. I'm going Arkansas. I hit them when they were playing Syracuse. I'm gonna. Uh, I think the home team is gonna also prevail here once again. Uh, I just think that Arkansas is very gonna be up and down this year, and I
Hmm.
think this is gonna be when they're ups because they just got the shit beat out of them by Tennessee. So I think they'll get a good win right here, beat a ranked team. Taylor.
So just as much as I was talking about how Mississippi State is and Vandy and Mississippi State specifically were being teams that were being overlooked, I think I'm underlooked. I think Ole Miss is very overlooked. I don't think they're as good as I don't like to me. I'm pretty low on Ole Miss actually. I think in any other conference they'd be really good, but the problem with them is it's going to be if they shoot the ball or not. They can't rebound. Um, they did really good to finish tied with Georgia on rebounds, but Georgia's also a team that struggles rebounding the basketball. So when they play these bigger teams like Mississippi State, Auburn, Alabama, like tall teams, I'm not talking about better teams. If they're not shooting the 3 ball, it is going to be a long night because the other team is going to just get possession after possession. I mean, I could see Auburn go missing 4 threes and Brim just at the end tapping the ball in and getting a 2, like something like that. So yeah, I like Arkansas to cover. I'm kind of low on Ole Miss. I actually think Georgia might. I know they just beat them, but I think that I have more faith in Georgia than I do Ole Miss. Not long term. I mean, he's a really good coach. He got to get some guys in there to rebound. Rebounding
That's
is like football when you got to have a run defense.
yeah,
You know?
yeah, yeah. Rebound, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
backbone pretty much.
Yeah.
Can't get the ball back.
Hmm. Sorry.
No, you're good, Max.
Give me Arkansas. I think they bounce back at home from
Yeah,
getting their ass whooped.
They play different at home than they do on the road.
Yeah.
and that's actually kind of going to this next game, Texas A&M versus Oklahoma. I think that's going to be the similar thing. So obviously, Texas A&M does have Wade Taylor. Oklahoma just got annihilated by Bama, but at home, Texas A&M is the 1.5 point favorite. I'm gonna take the home team to cover. I do think they're gonna win. One thing for Oklahoma that happened against us, their leading scorer Fears, who is typically a
A
really
lottery
good,
pick. He's a lottery
yeah,
pick.
who is typically really good shooting the ball. He shot 5 for 15 against us, so he
Who
did
was
not have.
on him? Who was on him?
I do not know. I think it might have been what.
Pylon.
Phylon? Makes sense. Yeah,
Uh,
it was Phylon because I saw something where NATO said that Phylon was took the like it I did the disrespect for Fears getting talked about, but not him when it comes to getting drafted in the first round and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I think Beers has a better game. He's not going to shoot 5 for 15. He's going to put up big points. Well, maybe not even a lot of points, but just more efficient. I mean, that's having a bad shooting night. And at home, I think they'll be able to get the job done against A&M. Taylor.
Nobody should be judged. I mean, it's just what it is. Nobody should be judged. These lower teams players that are really good shouldn't be judged by what happens to them when they play at like Alabama or something like that. It's just tough. I don't know if Alabama will lose a game at home this year. I mean, I don't know of a lot of teams in the top that will. I know that will happen, but I just can't see it. But here I do still think I like A&M in the end to, to cover the 1.5 or whatever it is and win.
Yeah,
Um, A&M looked really good against Texas the other night. I watched it. Really
yeah
good.
I haven't watched much of A&M this year, so
They're the same frustrating
streaky.
non basketball team. They just go around and chuck up stupid shots and run into you, and
Wade Taylor sounds like him.
yeah,
Volume shooter,
yeah. Volume.
Max.
Give me A&M.
Gotcha. All right. Next up, Max, I'll let you take the lead on this. Alabama at South Carolina. We are 12.5 point favorites.
So we have to play the. I guess I could pick them. Can we do the money line?
You can take one money line. Yeah, we'll make that a rule.
Probably the most locked money line of the
Yeah,
Yeah,
give me
I think
Alabama
so.
money line.
12
Oh,
and a half points.
I'm doing that shit. Me too, Alabama money line.
I'm gonna take Alabama to cover the 12.5.
By the way, I think that line's gonna go down by game time. Don't be shocked. So
Probably.
but I actually like them to cover it. If Alabama plays like they did Saturday, they'll win by 40.
So this is one of those games where it could be a letdown game, just based on how
It
Purdue's
is,
played,
but
and especially a big game Saturday.
I watched South Carolina play another one of those really elite SEC teams, and I know it was on the road, and they were down 30 at halftime.
One thing I'll say, reason I'm picking Alabama, I mean, obviously we look great, but Steers is starting to heat up finally. He's starting to play better. He's starting to
hmm
get back to his average. Last game, I think he had 22 or 24, shot efficient, good, a lot of assists. So he's back up to around 18 points, 8 assists. Starts playing like that. Grant Nelson's playing so much better this year. He's
hmm
not having to play the five, which is huge for him. Also, Phylon, I mean, he's gonna be gone after this year, sadly. Uh, and then young blood coming off the bench, grabbing boards. I mean, we're just looking so good. I'm very excited for this team. If we start playing that, got to watch turnovers. We are playing on the road, so that is always one thing we can't let the
And Jaron
turnovers kill us.
Stevenson,
Look
Yes,
good.
shout out Jaron Stevenson. He hasn't shot the ball well at all, but he's played some really good defense. He's a 6'11" guy who's actually can move and play, cover some of these smaller,
same
quicker
thing for
guys.
Reed. Same thing for Reed. Reed's played
Yeah,
this
Y'all,
year.
Reed too, yeah.
y'all are scary because I know y'all are not going to shoot 31% from three from the year.
No,
That's the end. I'm just saying, like that's scary to me because
yeah,
when
we're
you
not
go
shooting.
back up, like that's
So you want
yeah,
to know something about Bama? That's a cool stat.
probably
We're the
not cool
num
one for me.
we're the number one. We're number one team in 2 point field goal percentage.
I believe that because you only
We're
take
number one.
dunks and layups.
Yeah, number one 2 point field goal percentage, and we have
Did you see
we're number three total offense, and I think number 40 defense.
That's yeah. Did you see yeah, y'all are really good. Are we moving to the Auburn? Because I had a Kim Palm stat about Auburn.
Yeah, go ahead, go to Auburn. Auburn is facing they're going at Texas tomorrow night minus 10.5.
So Auburn's Kim Palm rating when it is at one offense efficiency rating, it's number one. We're the number one offense in the country. It's at 130. That is the highest somebody's ever been in Kim Palm efficiency ever.
Y'all are
Saw that.
That's
y'all
like
are
that's like and then like yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna. I mean, y'all are so good. Like it's actually like scary.
Metrically they are
The best team.
comparable to
Yeah,
2014, 2015 Kentucky
Kentucky. Yep.
that lost one game the whole year. Uh I mean it's kind of insane.
That's exciting for y'all. Like, I hate, like, obviously, I hope y'all lose, but like, as
Yeah.
like your friend, it's fun to see how excited you are for Auburn basketball.
It's fucking insane like
Yeah,
how efficient they are. I'll ride with it. I don't know. I would not be shocked if this is a super close game though, because Tex, I do like Bruce. Like Bruce is like the anti Hugh Freeze, where he doesn't give you bulletin board material. He was like, "This will be." He said in a quote, he said, "This will be tougher than playing at Cameron Indoor." And I'm like, "Bro, you don't gotta lie." I mean,
so
it'll be tough. And also, by the way, Bruce Pearl, next time he wins a game, will officially he's tied it, but he'll become the
yeah.
winningest basketball coach in Auburn basketball history.
Mhm.
Not that
Just
hard,
so
of
Oh,
course, but
super
it's
cool.
so
Sorry, go ahead.
it's so funny. It's like 10 years ago, if you said, "Hey, in 10 years, Alabama and Auburn will be two of the top teams in basketball competing for a national championship,"
Hmm.
they'd be like, "What the hell?"
Dude, I'm like I want to put the like those the I might need cocaine during the Iron Bowl, the two
Oh
Iron Bowl
my
games.
goodness.
Like those are like who's the dude on he's an Alabama guy, but every time like he like they post an Auburn Alabama stat, he posts the screenshot of #1 Alabama versus #2 LSU, the from the football game in 2012. Like just like that's how comparable it's gonna feel. Like when y'all played LSU and it was 1 versus 2 back in
Oh
Bryant
yeah.
Denny, like from 2012, or 2011, sorry. And so yeah, man, I don't know. I don't want it to be like over. I'm enjoying the ride.
One thing I hate to do real quick. Another stat that I saw that was cool. I can't remember exact numbers, but Nate Oates, since the time he's been at Alabama, has surpassed the amount of 100-point games that we've scored in all the other seasons combined already. That's crazy. Also, the line for this one is 10.5 on our board. It's already moved down to 9.5 on ESPN
I
Taylor.
know. I think yeah. We can do what y'all want. I don't care. We'll do
Oh,
9.
I'm using my money line, Auburn money line.
Okay.
Easy.
Max 9.5.
Give me Auburn.
Yeah. It's I don't know. We'll see.
Nine and a
Anyways,
half.
we'll see how that
Cover it.
goes. That's midweek, right? We're doing sneaks and locks now.
Yep, that's midweek. Oh, also, we already kind of talked about. We'll do the weekend games during the NFL
With the
podcast.
NFL pod because we got to fill time because we're
Mhm.
gonna just be talking about like 5 NFL games, so it won't hurt it.
Yep, and
We
also
were
one thing I'll say is I know previously I said I'll talk about NBA. I'll get into NBA eventually. I'm not gonna lie, this year just
I
isn't as exciting.
I would say give Alex through the NFL playoffs and
Yeah, once
once
those
the
get
Super
Yeah,
Bowl's done.
season going down.
yeah, it's not good.
Ah, dude, it's just well. It's the problem is like it's just everybody shooting threes. They're not playing defense.
Yeah, it's not fun. Not fun.
I
But
think the college game now because the NIL is a better product. And I
college is more fun to
understand it.
watch.
Like
College
now,
is way more
Barry
fun.
McCogner would come on here and tell me I'm an idiot, but I think it's a better product. I mean,
It's more
obviously, I know it's
competitive.
not. It's more competitive, and now you don't with NIL and you got older guys there. You don't have as many like bad 55. If it is 55, 55, 45 games and stuff like that, it's actually high efficient basketball, like Florida, Kentucky, and in a lot of Alabama's big games like that, they're fun to watch. Auburn,
For the most
Tennessee
part,
still plays like that old style, but
definitely college basketball is more fun. I will say once you get into the NBA playoffs, then it's good to watch because they're actually playing. They actually care then. But
mhm.
regular season,
They
they
need to
don't
shrink
really
it.
care
They need to
anymore.
shrink it.
I
Yeah,
need to
where
start the season. Yeah.
make the
They need
games
to
matter
shrink it.
more.
They need to shrink it. I'd shrink it down to 54
You,
something.
yeah,
I
you
really,
wouldn't have
I would
these
shrink
players
it.
sitting out all these games because every game
Yeah.
would matter.
hmm
I think that's a great idea. But yeah, let's go to our locks. I'll actually go ahead and start off with
Do sneaks
yeah.
first.
Excuse me. We'll start with my sneak. So talking about NBA basketball, I actually have Phoenix covering versus the Hornets. Hornets are really bad. Lamelo's good. Brandon Miller's actually having a really good season with the Hornets. So one thing I will say about them though, the other game, maybe last week, he shot 19 threes in one game, and he made
God
like
bless.
5 of them.
Okay, Aiden.
But he's actually still having a good season. But Phoenix -2.5 versus the
Did
Hornets, easy.
Jabari break his hand in shoot around? Did you see that where Jabari Smith broke his hand during shoot around? How the
No,
fuck
but
do you break your hand in shoot around?
I did not see that.
Anyways, sorry.
Shocking.
So yeah, 2.5 Phoenix covers the
M-
Hornets. That's my sneak.
My sneaks Michigan +3 at UCLA tomorrow night. I like Michigan. I think they look really good. They shouldn't have lost to Oklahoma. It's really their only blemish. Think they're going to win the Big Ten. Well, I think them and Illinois are going to battle it out, and Purdue are going to battle it out. But I like them over Purdue, and I think Illinois might end up winning it. But I think Michigan will be in it.
Next.
Yeah. Texas, what is it? 5.5. Ohio State.
hmm
That's your sneak.
That's your
Yep.
sneaker, your lock.
That's my sneak.
Okay. What's your lock?
Yep.
My lock is North Carolina -6.5 versus SMU.
There you go.
Ooh, buddy, is that dude going to get fired? Hubert?
Yeah, if they don't cover this game, hell yeah.
I'm just talking about long run. Like I feel like they're closer to being Villanova than being Duke right now.
You saw
Is
how
that
they
is that fair to say? I mean, they're not anywhere as bad as Villanova missed on their head coaching hire, but Shire's turning into this great coach, and Hubert Davis just likes to run around and mean mug players and not actually coach.
y'all saw how they beat Notre Dame, right?
Barely.
4-point play, which is
Yeah.
crazy.
Hey,
Taylor,
that's the
what's your
second time
lock?
it's happened. Mississippi State plus 1.5 from reasons I
Eh,
talked about earlier.
eh.
What is
Okay,
yours?
mine is Penn State covers the 2.5. Like I said, I think their offense is just better than Notre Dame's, and once Notre Dame gets behind, it's going to be tough for them. The one thing I do worry about is Riley Leonard running.
Me
That's
too.
going to be if he can do that, then Notre Dame has a chance. But if
Yeah, he ain't gonna
Penn
throw
State
it.
bottles him up, I think Penn State covers 2.5 easy. But do you have anything else?
They're just gonna run a spy on him, I think, and then
Yeah.
that'll toss that. No,
Well, all right. It was good to be back, and we'll be back on our
on
regular
schedule.
upload
Yeah.
schedule. Sorry for the break. We didn't really plan on it. We tried to do some podcasts, then I left my laptop, and then it wouldn't let them sign in and do one together. So
It was just Christmas is like everybody's got like Christmas on different days and multiple days. Like we were like our Monday that I was recording was one of my Christmas things, and I could actually have done Christmas night, but they couldn't have done Christmas night. So it just was never,
sometimes life happens, man.
yeah. But we didn't really miss
Yeah,
much. I mean, the playoffs. We still got to recap the playoffs. We didn't get to preview the quarterfinals, but that's it.
that's
Really, that's
fine.
all we missed.
I would have just heard bad takes by me, and then
Hmm.
Max's undefeated take that he didn't get to tell us.
Yeah.
Undefeated.
But all right, this has been the Weekends Over podcast. Hope y'all enjoyed this. We'll see y'all Thursday for our NFL. We'll see y'all Friday. We'll do our
Friday.
Thursday one.
Hmm.
But we'll see y'all later.